Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello dear students, welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to begin with the last measure of central tendency. Unit 14, Class 12, Education, Nagaland Board, and this value is mode. So far, we've learned about mean as well as median. We know that mean is the average value and median, also known as the positional average, tells us the middle value of the data provided. What is mode? Now, mode is that value around which the maximum data concentrates. The most repeated value, of a data is the mode. For example, if there is a shoe manufacturer who would like to know what is the size of shoe which is highly in demand, he is going to calculate the mode of it. And that shoe size which will be demanded highly, he is going to focus more on the manufacturing. Same with respect to the clothing items which is considered, right? So that value which is repeated most often is known as a mode. So mode is basically, used with reference to the fashionable values, because it is in this sense, it is in this field that we need to know how many times should we produce something or how many times do we need to make something. So how do we represent mode now? We represent mode by using MO. Now calculating mode is extremely simple. First, if I talk about an individual series, what you have to do? Whatever series is given to you, you will just look at the number which is repeated the most. Now look at this series on your screen. Which number can you see has been repeated the most? It is 21. So 21 has been repeated 3 times. So 21 is my mode. I have one value which is repeated, that is 21. So my mode is 20. There may be a series in which you have more than 1 or 2 high repeated values. Those series are known as bimodal or trimodal or multimodal series also. Okay, so it is possible to have 1 mode, 2 mode, 3 modes and even multi-modes in a question. So individual series, whatever number you feel is being repeated, the highest is your mode. When I talk about the discrete series, in discrete series we have frequency. You will look at the frequency and the frequency which is the highest. The number corresponding to that frequency will be your mode. Simple enough. Look at this question. 4, 6, 9, 7, 5, 3. Highest frequency, 9. Number corresponding to highest frequency, 10. So the modal age is 10 over here. Okay, so my modal age was 10. Again, very simple. Now let us talk about the continuous series. Calculating mode in a continuous series is again something which is not at all difficult. Let us just first look at the formula for the same so that it can be easy for you to understand, because it has got a very close connection with the median. Okay. How do we calculate mode in the continuous series? We have L1 plus F1 minus F0 to F1 minus F0 minus F2 into I. Now what are these? L1 is the lower limit of the modal class. Okay. F1 is the frequency of the modal class. Okay. F0 is the frequency of the class preceding the modal class, that is before it. And F2 is the frequency of the class succeeding or after the modal class. And I, we know, is the class interval. So you need to remember these very, very clearly. Only then would you be able to apply the formula well. So I am given with a continuous series. I will look at the frequency which is given alongside. That class which has the highest frequency will be my modal class. After I have got my modal class, I will use the formula, apply the values and get the mode. Let us look at the example which is given in your book. I've explained you the step, told you the values. Okay, this is the number, this is the series given to you. Look at the frequency. Highest 180. Correct? What do I get as the modal class? 40, 45. Now apply the formula. The formula for mode is L1 plus F1 minus F0 upon 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into I. Right? L1, what is the lower limit? 40. F1, what is the frequency of the modal class? 180. Minus F0, the frequency of preceding class, 150. Upon 2 into F1. So 2 into 180, you are going to calculate the double of your frequency. So 18 into 2 is obviously 36. So 2 into 18 or 180 is 360. Minus F0, that is the preceding class, 150. Minus the succeeding class, that is 120. Multiplied by I, what is the class interval? 5. You've applied the values. Now do the calculation. So 180 minus 150, as we've applied the values correctly, it is 30. Here 360 minus 150 minus 120 gives 90. So 40 plus 30 upon 90 into 5, 41.67 years, which is my modal. So again, this was very simple. For the individual series, you simply have to find the value which is most repeated, that is your modal value. For discrete series, you look at the frequency which is the highest and the observation corresponding to that is your mode. Continuous series also, you look at the frequency. The highest frequency will give you a corresponding class interval. That class interval will give you your lower value. You will get the frequency of the modal class, frequency of the class which is above the modal class and succeeding after the modal class, and the class interval. Applying the formula, you will get your answer. Clear, dear students? So this was how we calculate mode. What are the merits of mode now? First, it is again very simple to calculate and understand. It is not affected by the extreme values because again we have to consider only that frequency which has got the which is the highest. So we just have to look at the corresponding value to it. Even if the extreme values are not given, it is not difficult for us to calculate mode. It can be located just by looking at the series the way we did an individual and discrete. We did not have to even use our pen. Just by looking at it, we got our answers. It is always present within the data, can be located graphically, and it is applicable both quantitatively, you get the number, and qualitatively, as we have discussed at the beginning, that in the fashion sense, mode is used widespread because it tells you what are the highly demanded objects by the people. What are the demerits of mode? Again, it is not rigid. Mode is something which is not static, it can vary. It is not based on all the values of the given data, and it is again not capable for further mathematical treatment. So this is what we mean by mode. Now, one thing which you should know about it, your median is always greater than, your mean is always greater than median, and median is always greater than mode. All right. Now, when do we use mean? When the distribution, the observation size is normal. When, there is some or the other observation is missing, we should not use mean because mean always uses all the data. When we want to know the best method that can represent the entire sample, mean is the best out of the three. When you want equal weightage to be given to each and every observation, we should use mean. When we want to gather the correct information, we should use mean. And when we are concerned with the accuracy of the data, the reliability of the data, we use mean. When do we use the median now? We use median when we need a very quick and easy calculation of something. We use median. When we know that the distribution of the data is very skewed, it is very uneven, and one or the two measurements are missing. Okay. When we know that the data is incomplete in nature, when we are not much concerned about the accuracy, when the data is haywire, it is all scattered in all the directions. Median is also calculated when we have to calculate the mode, and when we want to know the exact midpoint, we calculate the median. Next, why do we calculate mode? When again the distribution is incomplete because mode also is not affected by the extreme values. When you just need to know a rough estimate of the data which is provided to you. When you want to know something about the fashion or the trend that has to be followed. When you want to do something as quickly as you can. When you want to know the time, when the students were able to complete some answer the quickest, and also when the teacher wants to know the interest level of the student. She's going to pose a question, and looking at how quickly the students have answered, she's going to get to know the interest level of the same. So these are the three measures of central tendency: mean, median, and mode.